everybody. I'm Myst, and I have big energy, and so does Marcia. And Marcia, she is my human friend, just like Rob and Susan. And Susan is not here right now because she said I could come in and visit with all of you and tell you about Dream Myst. And Dream Myst is really me. I am not a part of Susan, not a part of her alter personality, not a part of any kind of hallucinogenic anything else like that. I am Dream Myst, and I am an enlightened being that comes from a different place and a different universe. And where I am, there truly is not very much in the way of time, and so I need to adjust my energies when I come see Susan, because the ravages of time will hurt her body and can complicate my communication. We always want to keep the vessel clear because we need to take care of Susan so that Susan can continue to allow us, myself, and many others to communicate. So, what does a trance channeling do? One of the things that trance channeling does is it gives you insights that are not clouded with judgment, that are filled with love, that help you to make the life choices you want to make and need to make. A trance channeling allows you to receive the abundant, beautiful, universal life force energy to have a glorious life. And that truly is what being a human being in this beautiful, unique planet called Earth is all about. It's learning about yourself. It's feeling and knowing the emotions. It's using the brain that brings the knowledge through. And most of all, it's about loving. Because when you are no longer here and your energy has turned to dust, what happens then is you go to another place of unconditional love. So, in case you haven't guessed it, it's easy for universal light beings and people like Susan to connect. That doesn't mean that there are very many people who will allow themselves to open up to all the spiritual realms to share. So, I don't know. And Marcia, you're on the line, correct? Aliens and entities are words that are commonly used, for lack of a better word. And if you think about it, anything that sounds like aliens or entities are scary. It gets the attention. And you know what? If it's aliens and entities, then that says that it's bad or wrong or evil. And that's not the case. Universal light beings share messages. So mankind can either choose to benefit from those messages or not. The easy way to get their answers and to speak with a light being, such as myself or Airiana, would be to contact someone such as Susan to do that. Then, later, as you get used to the process and begin to become more allowing, then you can open and ask that you become a channel as well. Some people can be a clear, open channel. Most, though, are afraid. They are afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of what's going to happen. They're afraid of being made fun of, and they're afraid of changing so radically that no one is going to like or love them. As you can tell, those fears are very irrational. But, yes, people can become open channels to allow the messages to come through. It's not always necessary to go into a deep trance, but a deep trance is what gives you the purest information. Because if you are doing channeled reading, if you are channeling a universal light being, and you are conscious in your physical body, then what happens is you don't really know what is you, your higher self, or the enlightened being, and what they are sharing. And as you can tell, universal light beings, they don't have to talk with like they're saying a poem or anything. They're just not people, but they just have personalities, just like every human being on earth has. They have personalities. Some will keep their eyes closed all the time. Some of them will barely speak. Other beings will have a more manly kind of tone. And other beings, such as myself, will sound young or fun, or it just depends on the personality of the being that comes through. Some personalities are very technical and they want to talk about all kinds of different things, but at a very high level of verbiage that most people wouldn't understand. There would have to be an engineer or somebody like that. So for the most part, you always want to ask that the being that is best suited for you come through. It is, and so many people, so many years ago, people were burnt at the stake and tortured because they were channels, because they were trance channels, because they were psychic. And as time has passed, then there was people who were afraid of these abilities, and so they said it was bad and negative, and it isn't. And then as more time has passed, and up into this current period, and more people are excited and want to discover and want to learn about trance channeling. And that is wonderful, and that will continue, especially into your children's lifetime, because the younger generations are being born for a very specific life's purpose, and they are the ones who will begin the new world with all of their abilities intact. So there will be many, many more trance channels, and as our children, and all of you are my hatchlings, and I love all the human beings that are open to receiving the messages, because each one of these little hatchlings have a chance and the opportunity to say, yes, I believe, and I know this to be true. So, I would love for all of you to come and see Susan and Rob and me, Myst, and Airiana, who is another universal light being,
who you're going to introduce
at
soon.
the expo in LA.
Who you're going to introduce soon.
Yeah, oh, I'm going to introduce Airiana soon. Do you want to talk to Airiana?
Yes.
That's a good question. Is it good for people to have sessions with a universal light being? And of course, I believe that is good. I know that to be true, and I demonstrate that. So, is it good to have a little children be a part of trance channeling and have sessions? Yes, it is. Because children do not have the bias, do not have the disbelief that something can't be and can't happen. And their lives can be impacted in a very positive way because of that awe, because of their belief, because of their sense of wonder and the naturalness of a trance channeling session. Teaching many different things, teaching children how to ground and protect their energy, because if it's a game, they will learn it, they will practice it, they will do it. If they do this often enough, then it becomes second nature to allow themselves or to open to receive, but also to know that no matter what, they are always divinely loved and divinely protected. And from that point, then it's up to the parent when their child begins to trance channel to record all of what is being said. Sometimes children will say very wise things without being in trance. Children do not necessarily have to go into a deep trance to be a channel. Exactly. The children do teach their parents as the parents teach them. And in doing that, it keeps the family unit strong. And it allows for communication so that a child does not have to say, oh no, I can't say anything, I'll get in trouble. Or, oh no, they'll say I'm pretending and I have an active imagination. And you know what? An active imagination is a beautiful, fantastic ability. I thank you all for listening to me. Now it's time to bring Airiana in. Bye-bye, everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Airiana. Airiana.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, hello there, Marcia. Well, energy is energy. It's all just varying densities. Something as light as a tissue, something as heavy as a rock, are all made up of the same energy. When someone such as Susan is able to open and receive the information from us, that is how we can communicate. And in communication, it was also important to get to know the vessel that Susan is, or the vehicle that she is. If it were not for Susan, we would not be able to communicate. Susan and other people like her. Is Susan the only trance channel? No. She's one of the very few, though, that can have many different beings come through to communicate. Are all of the beings good? They're just different levels of good. Depends on what you call good. If the energy is not high enough to resonate at Susan's energy level, then it wouldn't be good for her. If a being that comes through is so highly, highly evolved, and that energy is extremely big, then that energy also would not be good for Susan because it would be too high. Nation would not help Susan. Okay? So as you bring your light beings come in to visit, they need to bring their energy down.
It's about to end.
Higher level beings that come through a physical channel, this body, they need to adjust their energies down so they can connect and not harm the channel's body. The channel is Susan and this person sitting right here. As you can see, this person speaking is not Susan. The entity or the light being is using her consciousness so that we may speak with Susan's mouth, using Susan's voice, and all of Susan's faculties, facilities, her body. And that is why trance channels are relatively free. If any universal being gives you information that is filled with anger or judgment, you need to tell them to leave. A light being, a universal light being, a true one, and there are many of us, will never place judgment. They will always give their information with love and caring, and they will present it in the very best way to help someone or to heal someone of their pain. The information that will be given through the channel is not harmful and should never, ever hurt anyone. Doesn't mean that you will always agree with what is being said, and human beings have emotions. But you need to realize that we do not. Well, we are here to visit, to help in any way we can. But we are not human. Some of us have never been human, have never had a human existence, and I am one of those. Think of, how do I explain where my energy exists? My energy would be very much like looking at the furthest star and then looking beyond the furthest star. You're very welcome. I'm as far away as that, but I'm as close as the blink of an eye. And so, if your children were to ever walk through my energy, they will feel, many times, an electrical charge that will make the hair in their arms jump up, will give them awareness, and fill them with energy. So, but does that hurt Airiana? No, because I am energy. Just as, if you think about it, so many of the universes and parallel dimensions and everything is, there's so many of them, and they all exist all at the same time, one on top of the other, all around each other, inside and outside. If everything is energy, energy flows. It flows in, it wraps around, it flows back out again. And and it can manifest in the physical with a person such as Susan, because that way it gives all of us a voice. The more people become familiar with what Susan does and what I do and what Dream Myst does, they will see that it's very different. Very different. Dream Myst and I both have very different styles, very different personalities. Dream Myst is big energy. Mine, as you can tell, is more electrical. It's also very gentle. Dreams Myst is healing. She's a healer. She's phenomenal with what she does. But both of us send out love. We give that out. And we give out the insights that can help people and can help in many ways into this future that you are coming into. So much needs to be said and given. Who couldn't use love? What human being could not use a little more love in their life? Everyone. What human being even knows that they are love and that they deserve love? And they deserve to be given a love that is unconditional and personal. Human beings are beautiful, but they put so much on themselves to feel bad. Some of it is from their upbringing. Some of it is because they don't feel worthy. Children today need to be raised and need to be nurtured into the loving, kind, intuitive children that they are. And to do that, all it takes is being accepted.
Gesundheit.
Susan has to come back now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We all love you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Susan, you all the way back?
Yeah,
You okay?